What up? This your boy EC22 of the Fed with the Fed channel, man. We are back once again for a live podcast. As always, like, subscribe, share, leave comments, join the community, join the conversation. And we got your favorite Philly fan in the building, number 2 seed. What's going on, Max?
Soon to be number one seat. What's up, man?
Should be number one, but what's going on? Hey, for those of you over on Facebook, man, whether you're watching the Facebook page or the fellow Fat with a fan page, please do me a favor. If you're not already subscribed to YouTube, please jump on over on YouTube and join there as well. I would appreciate it. And if you're on X, formerly known as Twitter, would you please jump over and join there? That would greatly appreciate it, and that'll help the channel grow. But man, Max, let's just dive right on into it, I guess. What do you got? Well, let me before because you want to dive right into football, right?
We can talk whatever you want to talk about first, man.
Oh, okay. I don't know why this thing jumped on the screen. All right, we're gonna try to make this a little bit. Anyway, let's jump into uh y'all, those of you who are boxing fans, y'all, it is with regret. Deontay Wilder has lost again. Um, he lost again to Joseph Parker. Beat him this, and you know what this means. This is supposed to have been the fight that'll get the whole boxing community ready for him and Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua won his fight, but then Dante lost his fight. So we don't know what's going to happen at this point. If they're going to still fight, or Joshua going to fight Parker, we don't know. But you know, Dante's been on top for a while, and he came out and basically just said, he's not done. He apologized on Instagram to his fans. He just just another day at the office. His camp came out and basically made a statement saying that Parker's camp was well prepared. The training camp was well prepared for Deontay Wilder. Deontay had been off 2 years, haven't fought since his last match with I think that with Tyson Fury. So he's been out for 2 years. He's getting up in age, and just my raw opinion about Deontay: excellent fighter, excellent champion, excellent heavyweight fighter. But everybody knows his weakness. He's not a traditional boxer. He's a slugger. He's a power guy, and you can only survive so long in the state of boxing, or in the sport of boxing, just being a puncher. You're gonna have to be a little finesse with your bob and weave game, with your boxing game, and and obviously he's getting older, and it's just not there for him. I'm not gonna say this is his last hurrah, it's done, but at the end of the day, there's only so much you can do when you're not a real good boxer. But kudos to his career. Man, Max, what's been up? NBA, what you got? Have you been watching NBA lately?
Not really. I have not been paying attention to NBA as much because this
Yeah,
whole NFL season, everyone is pretty much still alive, and it's really interesting because everyone gets up here and talks. Oh, we know how it's going to shape out. This team is playing real good. This other team is playing real good. They're locking in. They're locked to make the playoffs, and then they go out and
yeah,
they suck, man. So
all
it's
right.
like anyone's game at this point.
Yeah. Hey, the NBA, real quick before we dive into the NFL, I just want to throw this out there for the community. Dallas Mavericks, Lukas Doncic went out there and scored 50 points on Christmas Day. Some say, oh, that's nothing normal. What he do? This is six 50-point game in his career, but this is the fourth time it's been done in NBA history on Christmas Day. You got Bernard King. I think he could score 64 points. You had Wilt Chamberlain, who obviously, was up there. And then, of course, you had who was that? Brett Barry or Brett Barry? Rick Barry. I'm sorry, the older Rick Barry scored 50 points on Christmas Day. And also on that same night, he got his 10,000th point. So I mean, he's I think the one of the fewest to do it before the age of 25. Jordan and LeBron are the youngest ones to do it before the age of 25 to reach 10,000 points. So Luka's on the right road to break records. He's on the right road to Hall of Fame. So I'm just proud of Luka Doncic and what the Mavericks got going on. Next in NBA, man, are the rookies. I was really excited about this rookie class. I was watching the draft. I did the draft online. covered the draft online on the podcast, and I was so excited about this rookie class. But um, there's not been a whole lot of noise coming out from the rookie class. Right now, you got the top three are obviously Victor Wembanyama down in San Antonio. You got Chet Holmgren over there at the OKC, and then you got Brandon Miller down there with the Charlotte Bobcats. Man, listen, those are the top three by a long shot, in my opinion. I mean, you look at Victor Wembanyama, right? I think he's averaging what 18.5 points a game, and he's leading the San Antonio Spurs, which is why the San Antonio Spurs are the second worst team in the NBA. They put all their chips on the hat and get this kid, and obviously they're in the rebuilding stage. So I mean, he need pieces around him, but 18 points a game is not going. Leading your team is not going to get it done on NBA team, any NBA team. Chet Holmgren is probably the best rookie, probably front runner for rookie MVP. I mean, rookie of the year at this point. He's playing on that stud OKC team. He's the third leading scorer on their team. He's coming in with a 17.2 points a game. I mean, Shea Gilgis Alexander is balling out of control out there, and then you got who's on that squad? Jalen Williams is balling out of control in that squad, so he fits right in on that squad. He's doing his thing. Like I say, they're the sixth best team in the whole NBA, the third best team in the West. So I mean, like I said, Chet Holmgren is probably the best rookie we have out there right now. Then you got Brandon Miller over the Charlotte Bobcats. I mean, that team is the sixth worst team, the fifth worst team in the whole NBA. He's the sixth best player on this team, so no need to go any further than that. But despite the record, despite their record of their 7-20 record, I still think that the Bobcats is a good team. They maybe one or two pieces out. Maybe next year that'll be good. They got some old heads. They probably need to go ahead and trade and get some younger pieces in, but I think they're gonna be all right. The rest of the rookie class, man, look, it is what it is, right? Um, I wanted these guys to play like Casey Wallace, and obviously the Thompson, Amen, Amon, and Asur Thompson. I'm looking for great things out of them. But I think maybe next year or the year after next, we probably start seeing some good things because these guys are not getting a whole lot of playing time. And when they're on the floor, they're not getting a lot of opportunities to score. Obviously, they have their point average is very, very low. So, like case in point, like down over in Orlando with Anthony Black, you know, that kid is still good, but like I said, he has a lot of, he has a lot to climb up. You know, say obviously Pedro Pichero is doing his thing over there, and then you got the other guys over there with Jalen Suggs and the other guys over there, and Greg Anthony's son. So that's I mean, so these rookies, the 2023, 2024 rookies, give them a few years. They'll be all right. They'll be all right. Um, Finally, I got the boxing and NBA out the way. Max, there's so much or so little to cover for the NFL. What you got? I'm gonna let you start this one off.
Let's start with the Saturday games, man.
You want to go right there? Okay, bet. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go.
we can start with the Saturday games.
Okay.
They weren't that fun to watch, man.
They wasn't
Com-
that.
yeah,
You
they
go.
they they weren't as competitive to me as the other games were on Sunday and Monday. So it was kind of hard to watch. And then one of the
Uh,
games was exclusive to Peacock, wasn't it?
yeah, that was the Bills and Chargers.
That
Was
game
that Bills and
actually,
Chargers? Yeah,
yeah, that game was. It turned out to be okay towards the end of the game. It
yeah,
shouldn't have been as close as it was, but it was a pretty decent game. Peacock's over here advertising that they're going to have an exclusive wild card game too. We'll see how that goes for their streaming site.
yeah.
But Sunday and Monday, a
Wait a minute, but
lot to talk about,
I
man.
actually, I actually liked the Saturday games. I mean, I thought the Chargers gave the Bills a run for their money. The close game. Uh, Josh, I mean, they. I thought they would do. I thought they would have more of the same with the Cowboys run the ball. But obviously, they pulled back on that. But I can say it was a pretty decent game. It was kind of had some dry moments. But the Steelers and the Bengals, you already know I love that game. I love and we'll talk about that game later on. But yeah, I thought that was a heck of a game right there. You say it's Sunday and Monday.
Yes,
Okay, go
sir.
ahead. Go ahead.
We already know how the stage was set up. Cowboys and Dolphins. Everyone was looking forward to that game,
Yeah.
and I don't know if it met your expectations, but it pretty much met my expectations. I was not expecting a high game because I know both defenses are iffy. Well, everyone's saying they have top defenses, but we were there to see how what is Tyreek Hill going to do and what is
Right.
Dak Prescott going to do with this whole MVP race. And
Right. Right.
we found out what happens, man. That Prescott, he could have stepped up a bit more, provided more for his team. In the end, he did have that last drive that took away
Yeah.
what, like almost 8, 9 minutes of that last game, but
Yeah.
they left too much time on the clock, man. And Dolphins,
Yeah.
we know they have a great run game, and that's what they leaned on. And when they had to throw it, they made the throws, and they
Yeah.
went ahead and ran away with the game when they needed to.
Yeah, I've never been a fan to make excuses for a team or a player. That's if anybody out there watching this, that's never been my thing. And also, sometimes I get it could be a pet peeve of mine that I don't like people making excuses for their team. With that being said, you may take what I'm saying as an excuse for the Cowboys, but not only the Cowboys, also the Kansas City Chiefs. Because I don't think it's an excuse. I think it's just a fact. At the end of the day, it's like, listen, the Cowboys played, the offense played the best game they could play, considering, right? The Chiefs offense played the best game they could, considering. At the end of the day, if you watch the game with the open mind, Dak played a heck of a game. He just need better help. As simple as that. The time he had in the pocket on a lot of those plays, there was nobody open. I mean, we saw him run more than he ever ran before because there was nobody to throw it to. We also see linemen missing assignments to where they're getting to Dak without getting chances. So, like I say, he needs a little bit more help. And also from the defense. Now, defense only giving up 22 points. Um, but you're only good as your defense, right? 22 points with 22 points they didn't need to give up, right? They should have stepped up at the end. It don't matter how many points, how many minutes you leave on the clock. Defense, you need to get it done. Just as the series before, they got a 3-and-out. So you should have came with that exact same intensity on that final possession. But like you said, giving up the middle of the field, the safeties are for the Cowboys are just trash. So I mean, the defense is that those DBs back there need a lot of help. So uh but Dak played this game, you know what I'm saying? And that's the game that you lose. I'm not too concerned about it because obviously no matter what happens at this point, the Cowboys will be the fifth seed. So there's only so much you can do with that. It's just a matter of getting things ready, looking ahead and see what can you do to clean up some things before the playoffs.
Would you
The real,
hit
huh?
would you hit the panic button losing two straight?
No, no, no. You don't hit the panic button losing too straight. I mean, you lost to some decent teams. I ain't gonna say good team, but you lost to some decent teams who got their own struggles over in the AFC. So I mean, they are they needed to beat the Cowboys more than the Cowboys needed to beat them. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, because the race in AFC is a whole lot harder than NFC right now. So, I mean, you definitely don't want to end the season on a losing streak. But at the end of the day, just give Cowboys a chance to go back and look at some things they did wrong and correct what they need to correct. But I mean, Buffalo Bills are fighting for their life right now. They need to win on out to have a chance, and so that's just what that is. Kansas City, the same with the Cowboys. Patrick Mahomes need help. He just needs some help. I mean, everybody. I mean, when you never think that stuff like drops will come contagious, but now you got Swifty boyfriend dropping the ball. I mean, Kelsey getting the case of the dropsies. That this is and Patrick Mahomes is so frustrated. It's like the one guy that you knew you could count on now, he is not doing his job. You know, Rice, he thought he could count on him. He's not connecting. And he's sitting out there and just, frustrated. And I'm sad. And I feel sorry for him because the dude is scrambling, he's running, he's doing what he can to give his guys a chance to make plays, to get open, to break free. and they're just not doing it. And then the defense is what it is. But I mean, he just there's only so much you can do from those guys. Like I say, come across as an excuse, but like I say, this is what I see on the field, and I give them guys a pass. Now, obviously, Kansas City, they're probably in more trouble than the Cowboys. They definitely need to hit the panic button because they could be a one and done. They could be a definitely one and done in the playoff. You know, um, going over since we're talking about the playoff picture, what do you think
Of
for
the
the playoff picture?
seeding.
Yeah,
Oh man, it's looking more and more like the playoff seeding really won't matter, man. It only matter if you have the number one seed. After that, anyone can lose because we seen it this week.
yeah,
Everyone is vulnerable. It's not just there's no concrete team other than the Ravens out there that'll make me think, oh man, this team can go all the way. Like
yeah,
any team can lose. Like you saw Brock Purdy's performance against the Ravens.
yeah.
It's just like anyone can lose at this point. Anyone has a shot. Even a terrible team like my team, we have a good chance to make the Super Bowl too, man.
I
Which
mean,
is what I'm excited for. But honestly, the scarier team I see and the NFC side of things is the Detroit Lions. And
yeah,
people are underestimating them. They're not keeping an eye on them because they're too worried about seeing what the Eagles, 49ers, and Cowboys are doing that
right.
they're flying under the radar, man.
You know what? You know what's so crazy about the AFC? They've got at this point, week 16, they only got two teams who's clinched the playoff berth. That's
Mhm.
we're not talking about. I mean, you're talking about 12 and 3, 11 and 4. Then you got 9 and 6, 8 and 7, 10 and 5, 9 and 6, a bunch of 8 and 17s. And then you got you don't start getting eliminated to the playoff until you get to the 13th spot. Where they got one, two, three, four. They got five teams eliminated from the playoffs, but only two teams that's clinched the playoff. It's a tight race. So it's crazy. I'm looking at teams like Pittsburgh. They got a rough schedule coming up. They got to play Baltimore in the last game. I think I play the Seahawks as well coming up. So uh, yeah, they play Seahawks on Sunday, and they got Baltimore after that. Um, Mike Tomlin, this could be the first losing season he had since he's been there.
He
And
won't.
so if he loses, I mean he got to win one of those games to have a winning season. He got to at least win one of those games. And I think Seahawks is the best team. I don't know if Baltimore could win that game if they don't have nothing to play for, if they rest their players. Depends on what they do next week. Um, but I mean the race is crazy. I mean from Cincinnati to Texans. I mean Buffalo Bills have snuck their way up into the playoff, but like I say, they're not safe. So it's gonna come down to who wanted more between Bronco, Raiders, the Bengals, the Steelers, the Texans, the Colts. Who wanted more. So they're gonna have to fight for that last spot. So it's gonna be interesting. The AFC, the NFC is sold up. I mean, the NFC is sold up. I mean, those last guys for that 6, 7 spot. I mean, we're gonna let them guys fight for it because Cowboys obviously got the fifth spot locked up, and no matter what they do at this point, they can't lose. They can't lose that spot. So the only way they can do is maybe if you guys lose out, the Eagles lose out, y'all be 12 and we are 11 and 6, and the Cowboys win out, they'll be 10. I mean, they'll be 12 and 5. So that way, the Cowboys will probably move up to the number 3 or number 2 spot, and then y'all move to 5. But we'll see what happens with that. But y'all got an easier schedule than we do. But maybe not. Who we play? We play
we got Arizona and the Giants.
and
You
we got
guys still have
Detroit,
Detroit.
Detroit and Washington. So yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. And let's before I go into well, we just here's some fun. The MVP conversation. They've got I don't know what these sports writers are doing right now. They're really doing some really slick stuff. In your opinion, and I know what you're gonna say, but I want to hear you say it. In your opinion, how far did Dak fall out of MVP conversation?
I would say he's not in the top three, losing two games in a row. He could be probably in the top five, but top three, no way.
And the reason why I said I'm gonna let you say that because here's something that got me caught that caught my attention. The Cowboys are currently right now what 10-5. The Buffalo Bills are what 9-6.
I believe so.
So if Dak Prescott was if Dak Prescott was at just last week was the front runner, well, 2 weeks ago was the front runner for MVP. You lose two in a row. Now he's out of the top three, which I'm not mad. How in the world did Josh Allen get in the conversation? The
He
game he played
shouldn't.
against the Cowboys, it wasn't him. It was James Cook. And obviously Sean McDermott calling a heck of a game. But somehow somebody has put him in the top 5 conversation for MVP. And he shouldn't be. So if the sports writers are now putting Josh Allen in the conversation, there's no way Dak should have fell out to number 6 or 7 on those lists for MVP. It just makes no sense. Also, we haven't heard this guy name all season long, but somehow he done got into the conversation. It's two of them. Tua Tagovailoa as well as Christian McCaffrey. All of a sudden, then made their bid into the MVP candidate race. I honestly, I'm gonna tell you what I think is happening. I think the league really wanted Dak. In all fairness, I think they really wanted Dak to win out to win it because if he won out, then it would have been probably a unanimous decision to give it to him, right? Regardless how he won, I think it would have been unanimous. I think it would have been unanimous, but based on that schedule, right? If he won out, because I mean, you couldn't have 2 weeks ago he was the front runner. If he won out the rest of his games, it makes sense because he would have had what only what 4 losses on his record, no, only 3 losses on his record at that time. And if Baltimore went out, I mean, it is what it is, right? Baltimore got the weakest conference in the league with all those players being out. But with that being said, Dak loses to the 49ers, and now they're still struggling with the ideal of Brock Purdy. I'm just going by the conversation I've been hearing on the guys who actually get the vote. These analysts and journalists and stuff like the guys who actually get the vote, they're conflicted and have been conflicted, but putting Brock Purdy up in there, right? And then every time you throw up Lamar Jackson, it's always this, yeah, he's the front runner, but yeah, he's the guy, but. And then last week it was if he beat the 49ers, he would be the front runner. He beat the 49ers. Now they're still like, he's there, but there's not a clear, decisive leader right now. It's like, what do we have to do? Now, for me, I'm with you. I definitely think Lamar Jackson deserve it. You know what I'm saying? But the sports writers, for whatever reason, and now you're talking about, they just said last week, if he beat the 49ers, he's in. He beat the 49ers, now all of a sudden you add more people to the pot. Now all of a sudden you got a Josh Allen. Now all of a sudden you got a Tua Tagovailoa. Now all of a sudden you got a Christian McCaffrey. It's like, these sports writers are funny to me. They are funny to me.
Like I've
Who
been
is your
saying,
give me your top 3 for MVP?
top three. I mean, you already know. I
I,
got
I know
Lamar Jackson number
I got
one.
Lamar Jackson as well, number 1.
Even though Brock Purdy threw 4 picks, I still got Brock Purdy as number two.
Uh-huh.
I got Tyreek Hill as number three.
Tyreek Hill fell out because of the fact that obviously he didn't play last week, and then he didn't have a good production because they want him to get 2,000 yards to have a stamp into the MVP conversation. So he's not going to get to 2,000 yards this season. But if you're gonna have Tua, then you got to have Tyreek. It don't make no sense to have Tua in the conversation and not Tyreek. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of the reason why they chose Tua in the conversation because they couldn't put Tyreek in there. They don't want to overshadow what Tua has been doing. But like I say, I'm with you. Definitely Lamar Jackson number 1.
I've been saying that for weeks too, man. Everyone's always sleeping Lamar Jackson. It's like the league has something against Lamar Jackson winning MVP. They
Yeah.
gave it to him his rookie year. Why can't they give it to him now that he's playing at this level? Plus, all these other quarterbacks that you just mentioned, too, Josh
Mhm.
Allen, they all have that true number one wide receiver. You ask anyone out there who is Lamar Jackson throwing the ball to, everyone's like, no one knows anyone other than Zach Flowers, and even then, he's still
Yeah.
not a true number one wide receiver. So I'm like,
Yeah.
all these other teams, they got all these elite wide receivers. Lamar's getting it done with pretty much set 2, 3 wide receivers
Yeah,
as the
yeah.
number one wide receivers.
And here's a crazy thing. Richard Sherman on Undisputed. I don't. These sports writers, they're so funny. These analysts are so funny because they love to create some type of debate and argument, right? But the one that Richard Sherman brought up was a very, very interesting one. He brought up the conversation about between Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, and he based it on the percentage of touchdowns that said player had on their team. So he's looking at Josh Allen, who I think he said is responsible for 90% of the touchdowns on his squad versus Lamar Jackson. I think is maybe responsible for maybe like 50 some percent of the touchdowns on this same squad. And it was a very interesting comment to the point to where Keyshawn Johnson just walked off from him. It was like he just couldn't take it.
I mean, yeah, because they're only focusing on touchdowns. How many times did Josh Allen have the game on the line and he ended up throwing a pick or going 4 and
Absolutely.
out or 3 and out? Like they don't account for all that. You're only good when you're winning, but when you're losing, they don't mention the fact, oh, his stats. Like Brock Purdy, everyone's gonna forget about those 4 interceptions he threw against the Ravens. He goes out and balls out this week or next week, you know.
Right.
All that's in the past. Like, no, man. We're talking about the whole overall season. We're not talking about just his latest performance. Like you
Right.
said, you have Tua in the conversation now, and it's like, why? It's
Right.
so far into the season, you finally decide to add these guys with
Exactly.
2 games left. They should have been there at the beginning of the first 4 or 5 games. You should already have a list. Okay, these are the guys I'm gonna keep an eye on for the rest of the
Right.
season.
Right.
Based on performance, that's what I'm gonna pick. Based on stats, based on interceptions, based on how many yards you get, stuff
Right.
like that. But
And that's the reason why I still, like you said, I got Lamar Jackson number one, I got Brock Purdy number two, and I got Dak Prescott number three. Those guys have always been my MVP front runners. Obviously, the position changes based on wins and losses, but like you say, 2 weeks ago, uh, Dak Prescott was number one in MVP voting, and then you completely take him out of the conversation after two losses. But if you look at the individual performance, because it's not a team award, it's an individual award. If you look at his performance and what he could and could not do, he did his job. At the end of the day, he did his job. So uh that's just the way I look at it. Like you say, the four interception by Brock Purdy doesn't knock him out of the conversation. Nor does, like I say, Dak performance the last two games knock him out of the conversation. He just need more help. The Buffalo game hurt a little bit more, but like I say, the defense was bad. Uh, so I mean, those things happen. But like I say, the sports writers get the vote, and I'm like you. Well, I'm like you. Josh Allen was in the conversation, close to the conversation, nowhere all season long. Patrick Mahomes was. Josh Allen wasn't. Tyreek, obviously, because what he did with the Cowboys and then the week before not playing. Yeah, I mean, I think because this is a quarterback, they want a quarterback to win it, right? You're gonna have to be extraordinary for a running back or receiver to get this type of award. And right now, you just can't just throw Christian McCaffrey in the mix with everything you got going on in at the 49ers. It just don't make no sense. You got Debo, you got a Brandon Ayuk, you got Kittle out there. You know what I'm saying? Not to mention their defense, and their offensive line. I mean, you just can't all of a sudden throw Christian McCaffrey in that conversation. At this point, keep it a quarterback race between, like I said, Lamar, Purdy, and Dak. And with Lamar being the front runner, that's where I stand with that. Um, let's before we go into our game changes or something we said we was going to do, let's go into the performance, the what I call the stat leaders real quick. Because this is the funniest I've seen in a stat leading performance. And I'm not going to get into conversation about it unless you want to interject. But you got Nick Mullins leading the quarterbacks in passing yards with 4 interceptions. I mean, they almost came back and won that game. That's the funniest thing about it against Detroit. They Detroit almost left the gate open with them. Joe Flacco, obviously, his performance was, I mean, God dog, on Sunday was crazy. 368 yards. He did throw two picks, but three touchdowns. Jake Browning, the beat down they took against the Steelers, still threw for 335 yards, but had three interceptions, but only one touchdown. Matt Stafford, 328 yards, two touchdowns, and no win over New Orleans. And then you got Derek Carr, 319 yards over the Rams, or lost to the Rams. Rushing leaders, I mean, Zaire White for the Vegas. I mean, 245 yards, which helped them beat up on Kansas City. Uh, Aaron Jones for Green Bay, obviously in their win against Carolina, had 127. Khalil Herbert for Chicago on their win against Arizona. Kyron Williams also on their win against New Orleans, 104. And then Christian McCaffrey in their loss to Baltimore with 103 rushing yards. Uh, Receiving leaders, we already know Amari Cooper had a good game. We'll talk about
Sheesh.
that. He had a ball out game. George Pickens for Pittsburgh did his thing with their win against Cincinnati, 195 yards. Puka Nakua, still the same, still the same, 164. Justin Jefferson. I say Justin Herbert. I was trying to say Justin Herbert. No, it's the other Justin Jefferson. Listen, if anybody out there who's watching and want to get in the comment feed, I'm gonna ask Max right here. Who fault was that at the end of the game? Was
It's
that
hard.
Mullins or was that Jefferson's fault?
It's hard to say, but we already know all the blame goes to the quarterback. But honestly, I'm blaming Justin Jefferson on that, man.
Yeah, me. It's simple. You got a backup quarterback, a backup of a backup. The dude's like was his second time playing all season long. Regardless of how much he's throwing, he's having a good game out there. You know what I'm saying? Throwing 400 some yards, but at the end of the day, it's like you can't trust that as a receiver. Every time that ball goes in the air, you got to realize this guy haven't played all season long, right? I got to be able to make a play because that's what he done early in the game, right? Making a heck of a plays. I mean, missed this guy. And that last play, I watched him sit there and wait on the ball. I, uh, you see your receivers with you. That's one thing has been his MO is being able to see the defender and know where they at and know how to get in those spots and yank those balls out of air over to this defense. This one, I don't know. I don't know if he just got comfortable or was he tired, but he just sat there, waited on the ball, and that split second cost him the game. So I blame it on Justin Jefferson. Obviously, because he is a professional. You're the star. Mullen is not. It falls on you. I don't care who the quarterback is. You're the star. He's not in that type of situation. If it was unthrown, overthrown, I get it. But that ball, he sat on that ball. But I'm with you on that. Um,
Plus, it wasn't a check down, so there's no excuse for him to just stop.
exactly. All right. Going into the game changer performance of the game changers of the week. I'm gonna give one, you give one.
All right.
So
First one,
I'm gonna
first
go first
one.
because I got more than
All
you.
right.
So I'm gonna go first. I'm
All
gonna get
right.
mine. I'm gonna get one, and you get one. The first game changer of the week, we may have the same one. It is a tie between Jordan Love and Bryce Young in that game. Both quarterbacks came out and played hard, and kudos to Jordan Love. Jordan Love and winning that game, but both guys they was going back and forth. I mean, it could have went any direction. 33-30. That's what you want to see out of the young guys. Obviously, Jordan Love is not a rookie, but Bryce is. But his first time starting on this squad, leading the whole season, that was and it wasn't. This was more than a game managing situation. Both guys went out there and made some plays for their squad and getting it done. I mean, outside the playbook, they was out there really, really trying to win those games. In a game that's not going to make the playoffs. Neither one of the guys were in playoff contention, but they went out there and played the game like there was a Super Bowl. So I love that performance. Who you got?
I got Mason Rudolph, man. Surprisingly, Mason Rudolph. He did his thing. No one is. I did not expect Mason Rudolph to do what he did. I bet you Mike Tomlin didn't either. But
Yeah,
man,
he
he
did
just
his thing.
led from the first drive toward the end of the game. He just did his thing and did
Yeah,
not
he
care
did.
for. He never looked back, man. He just stepped on that gas.
He-
And George Pickens was his favorite target for the week,
Yeah, I
man.
mean, he was like everything. To pick him like God, dog. Uh, my second one is the same as yours with a little different twist. I got Mason Rudolph, but I gave that performance to Mike Tomlin. Because Mike Tomlin got him ready. He got him ready. If you watch the way he had when he had Kenny Pickens in the game, be Kenny Pickett, his starting quarterback, Kenny Pickett was definitely a game manager, right? Mike Tomlin was setting the stage game after game, week after week to make sure you follow what we need to follow. The right play calling, situational football. I was questioned with some of his clock management and stuff like that early in the season, but he played the way when he missed Trubisky got out there, he was trying his best to play to Mr. Trubisky's known strengths, and to but Mr. Trubisky just wasn't that good. And now you get Mason Rudolph off there, and the game plan he had, the confidence he had going into that game. Mike Tomlin got Mason Rudolph well prepared for that game, and they showed out on the field. So I mean, obviously the quarterback gets it because he's one on the field, but also, man, kudos to Mike Tomlin for being that game changing coach to be ready to, and within less than a week, to get his guy prepared. So that's crazy. Who you got?
Next one is Joe Flacco
Joe Flacco. Yeah.
for two reasons. He
Okay.
bought he bought out in Cleveland, and excuse my language, but he's making the Browns look stupid as well. He's making them look stupid by going out there and they get Deshaun Watson when they simply could have just called, "Hey, I need your help," instead
Paying
of
all that
paying
money
this
for the
guy.
shine, right? Paying all
Hmm.
that money for the shine. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, look, um, I love Joe Flacco, and he's a veteran. He's older, but I'm gonna give it to Amari Cooper. The reason why, because Amari Cooper was snatching some of the balls out of there. Underthrown, overthrown, widely thrown. Amari Cooper was vintage Amari Cooper. He was the Amari Cooper scene. I mean, it took guts for Joe Flacco to throw that ball towards his way. But some of the it different if it was like a Tua Tagovailoa and a Tyreek Hill, where Tyreek is sitting in the middle of the field by himself, and you can't do nothing but connect on there, right? A lot of passes from Amari Cooper, unless the receiver don't make those. I mean, he was like watching a shorter, thicker Justin Jefferson. You know what I'm saying? He was. Especially that one off the sideline where it didn't like he went out of bounds. He barely got that toe touch on the end zone. You know what I'm saying? The one he actually literally snatched out of the air from the DB. But like I say, now here's a question: watching that game, obviously for him to throw those passes that way is a game changer, right? Because I mean, you got options, right? And to throw those balls the way he was throwing them like that to Amari Cooper, who obviously haven't been productive all season long, that take guts. It takes guts for him, and to trust your receiver, that takes guts. So yeah, Joe Flacco, I'll give them a tie in my book. Joe Flacco, the guts to throw, to have a gutsy throw as far as Amari Cooper going out there and actually executing and making his quarterback look real smart. Who you got next?
Tyrod Taylor, because he came
Woo!
in. Oh, dude, he changed that whole entire Eagles Giants game, man.
I like it.
It's like when he everyone literally thought, okay, this game is freaking over, and then here
Yeah.
comes Tyrod Taylor, and boy, did he make that into a game.
Yeah. I like it. Yeah, yeah. I was at my dad's house, hanging out for Christmas and stuff like that, and we was watching the game, and of course, everybody's around, moving around. Got to the point to where we started getting ready to eat, and I was looking at the game, but not really looking at it, and because I was moving around a lot, and I looked up like, oh, Eagles got this thing blowed out. Then right when we got ready to play some cards, I sat down at the card table. I'm looking like, wait just a minute. What had happened? And I'm sitting around looking like, surely this is not DeVito. I said, oh, they got Tyrod. You know what I'm saying? Hey, obviously, he came in and put a scare in y'all hearts, whatever. But yeah, that was a very gutsy performance for him to come in to do it. And honestly, I think this Tyrod, and I am not ashamed to say this. I give Brian Daboll no credit because he was throwing the white flag, and we all know it. And then he did not. I don't think he expected that. Now he got a little antsy at the end about the no call and stuff like that. Want to try to come at the ref, but at the end of the day, like you was throwing the white flag, and you was. You know what I'm saying? And
You
Tyrod,
could.
like Tyrod said, I'm still in this thing. Game changer for Tyrod Taylor. Absolutely. I absolutely. I get a game changer to Geno Smith for that game winning drive. Uh,
Okay.
I give it to him that game winning drive. I mean, because it took all of it. The way he went down the field, making the plays he need to make. I mean, it was all Geno at that point. It was him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he didn't, and like you say, managed the game well. Didn't leave a bunch of minutes on the clock. He only left a couple of seconds on the clock for the defense. So I mean, he did his thing, leading that drive. Uh, did not. I had four going into this thing. This
I
this. I put Lamar Jackson on there. Did you put Lamar Jackson on there as well as a game changer?
Mm-mm.
Tell me why.
Because I expected him to do what he did. That referee tried to change the game for him though with that
Yeah.
safety, but other than that, I knew, but we all knew it was gonna be a good game for either side to ball out. Mm.
But what? But during this game, was he a game changer or was he just managing the game? Was this the coaching? Said marginalize him just to manage the game, or did he actually go out there and put the team on his back and win?
Oh, he put his team on the back before halftime when he ran for what 30 some yards when they
Yeah.
needed that. It was what 3rd and 16, and he ran
Yeah.
for that first down. No one open. He hesitated at first, like, should I run? Should I run? Let me look for an open wide receiver. No one's
Right.
open. He decided to take off, and that changed the game completely once he took off, man.
Right. And for those of you who are watching this podcast either now or may watch it later on replay, but listen, the reason why we're talking about this game changing performance or game management because it goes all the way back to what Cam Newton said about some of the quarterbacks in the league being game managers and game changers. And I know he got a lot of hate and he got a lot of backlash from it, but at the end of the day, I loved his point of view because it allowed me as a podcaster and now like an analyst it makes me look at the game a little bit different from a quarterback perspective because now to me it's almost like my eyes has been enlightened to what I see on the field because coaches call plays and they manage the game and it's up to the quarterback to either fall in suit and do what the coaches say and manage the game because we see a lot of that with Dak Prescott. Saying throwing the ball short because we don't want him to have all these turnovers. We see that with Russell Wilson. Don't throw the ball downfield, which he made his career off of, and how Sean Payton has been able to saying corral him, saying put him in his box, and other quarterbacks like Brock Purdy, he's been called a system quarterback for so long. And then obviously when you get a big game against a team like Baltimore, you get 4 interceptions trying to be creative. That's not your game, bro. You know what I'm saying? So doesn't mean that a guy is a game manager the whole season, but there's certain games the coaches come in, they take over and say, hey, just follow the X and O's that was laid out for you. You know what I'm saying? And that has been the Cowboy MO all season long. Last week, Cowboys, Dak tried to do a little bit more. The Philly game, the first Philly game, he tried to do a little bit more, and it just fell a little short. So I mean, but at the end of the day, Lamar Jackson has been an off the script guy since he's been in the league. He don't follow no. Patrick Mahomes has been an off the script type guy since he came into the league. It's the reason why he's always fussing at the line over there at the sideline. So um,
It's funny you
Jalen Hurts.
mentioned Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is my next game changer, man.
Oh, even though, yeah, he tried.
For the right and the wrong reasons. He changed the
Okay,
game when he fumbled and threw a pick six, and then he changed the game when he argued on the sideline, and then he changed the game when everyone was dropping passes. He tried everything he could in his power, but ultimately he came up short because his team gave up on him.
and he gave up on them. Those last couple of possessions, there were times where he gave up on them as well. And this is what you as the leader of your team take back into the locker room, right? You stand in the middle of the locker room and turn around and just like you said, man, you want to see what's going to happen in the locker room, right? That's as your leaders to just stand in the locker room, let them know, listen, I don't trust you, mofo's. I don't trust you. I don't trust you. I'm the guy. I'm out there doing my job. I'm getting hit. I'm taking hits. I'm running on a bad leg. I'm doing everything I can. The dude mess around, try to put a leg bar on me, you know what I'm saying? Grab my leg when I'm trying to go down. So that injured me for the rest of the game, He tried his best to hide it, but it's like I'm laying my body on the line. You guys can't do nothing but catch a ball. All you got to do is catch a ball. All you got to do is hold the dude off of me for at least 5 seconds. You know what I'm saying? And the defense, you got to step up. And so those type of deals those type of guys you need. In other locker rooms, and I'm not gonna name any teams, it's a different conversation. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. The coach got to make better plays. The coach got to get you prepared for better playbook and stuff like that. There's really nobody holding anybody accountable. It's just like I'm mad at myself or I'm mad at the situation. And um, your team looked pretty fired up at the end of that game. Completely unexpected. Completely unexpected. Devontae Smith had a lot to say. Talk about it.
My team is imploding from the inside. People just don't see it because we won. But if you look at it, AJ Brown did not want to get an interview. He said, if you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all. You
Okay.
saw Devontae Smith. He was upset about the game too. We left a lot on the table. We almost lost because we weren't taking care of business. You saw we went to the red zone what 5 times, only came up
Yeah.
with 2 TDs. You can't do that in the playoffs.
So when you're looking at 11 guys on the field, you in the red zone, like you say, 5 times, and then come out with a TD. And you have we'll say one of your star receivers in post game talking about they need to get better. Who was that addressed to?
The whole entire team, because honestly, offensive coordinators they're becoming too predictable. Jalen Hurts is, I mean, when the defense knows what play you might be running next, it's a lot harder to
Yeah.
score there. Jalen Hurts is trying everything he can, and you could tell. I feel like the coaches are telling him, "Hey, don't run with the ball anymore. You got to throw from the pocket or outside the pocket." Because I've seen the times where he could take off and just get an easy score or something, but he just hesitates to do it because of what they're telling him to do. And you saw us. We finally decided to run the ball, and DeAndre Swift looked like an all-star. And what happened towards the end of the game? We stopped running the ball again for no reason.
This goes back to players like Jason Witten, Dez Bryant, Ron Gronkowski. It used to be Travis until Swifty happened. T.O., Randall Cobb, um, you know, just even somebody like a Wells Welker. Reason why I'm calling these guys out because these guys play with quarterbacks who don't typically run a whole lot. McNabb would a little bit until his later years, but when you have these type of guys, especially like a T.O. has always said, "Listen, in the red zone, just throw it my way. Don't think about it. Don't get the X and O's. I'm gonna get open and I'm gonna get that ball. That ball is going to the end zone my way. I'm getting it." You know what I'm saying? So when you have a receiver like Devontae Smith saying we need to play better and there's 10 other guys on the field with him, like what did you do to contribute to that? Because if you was the X on the play card, if you was the X factor, then you should be going to Jalen Hurts and say, look, come find me. It makes the decision a whole lot. Look, I know you got your checks down to go through, but I'm getting open. I'm going to get the ball. You can't sit back, in my opinion, in a post game and just kind of throw, oh, we need to get better. It's like, no, it's simple. And you can do that on the sideline. Look, bro, look, we won the game, or we winning the game, but look, hit me next time. You see what I'm saying? And the problem is these guys, they're just not him. You know what I'm saying? They're not those type of players. You know what I'm saying? If T.O. said it and you went his way, he catching that ball. If Ron Gronkowski said it or Jason Witten said it, they catching that ball. Dez Bryant and him and Tony Rowe, that back shoulder fade, you haven't seen any receiver and quarterback make that play, as much as they do. It was a simple red zone. We knew where the ball was going. That ball was in the air before even Dez Bryant even turned around. And as much as I know you didn't like the Cowboys those years, but it was an effective play. You know what I'm saying? I just wish Dez Bryant had a longer career, but it was an effective play. It was an effective play. Especially when a one-on-one situation like that, boom, you get him. You know, um, Wells Worker, little man, he's in that middle of in the end zone, crossing the middle of the zone, catching the ball, going up to go get it. We don't see these players nowadays do it. Travis Kelce used to be that dude for the league, but no disrespect to him and his relationship, man. He's been a completely different dude since all this happened. And I don't think it's Taylor Swift. I think it's just the media attention, the expectation of him to be the same he have been all week. It's like to them, it's championship or bust. You know what I'm saying? And it's like they're not playing well, and it just got to. It's just something that's happening in the locker room to us affecting everybody mentally. I love Andy Reid though. He broke his helmet. Here come the equipment guy. Like, we got another. And we say, you don't get that man that sit his tail down for this play. I love it. Because it's like, I don't care who you are, you get to sit out. You act like that, you get to sit out for a play and cool the heck off. Andy Reid ran to him completely away from the play, ran to him like, no, give me that helmet. Don't give it to him. I don't want, he don't run nothing here. And I love that. You know what I'm saying? So the game changers, that's what we're talking about. Game changers, game managers. There's only a few in the league. It's only a few in the league. So, and unfortunately, out of our top three, out of me and Max's top three MVP races, there's only one. That's Lamar Jackson, who's a game manager. Oh man, we've got through this podcast. It's been long. I think we covered everything for the first time. We covered everything. Um, You got any final words, man? How was your Christmas? Let me in right there. How was your Christmas?
Oh, it was pretty great, man. My team won.
I was speaking about family.
It was pretty good, man.
Yeah.
I I slept till like 4 or 5 in the morning on the 24, drinking it up. So yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Oh, because you were definitely you. Did you have to work today?
Nah, I was off that Sunday and Monday.
Okay, but you had to work today.
Yeah,
Oh, it was light today. I bet it was light, huh?
they
Okay,
got
cool.
they got us riding together because it's the volume is so low, and
Okay,
they told us today like, hey, for the next probably month and a half, we might be sending people home.
oh
Just show
man.
up. Yeah, they told us just show up early, and you won't be the one sent home because you
Okay.
showed up early. Yeah,
Oh, that's what's up.
like
That's what's up.
showing commitment type of deal. You know, you
Yeah,
show
yeah,
commitment. It shows you're willing to work. People that get up there late, well, you're sluggish. You're
yeah,
struggling
yeah,
to even come to work on time. So
yeah, yeah. So go
out
ahead
the
and go back
door.
to the house. Wow, that's crazy.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's all I have for the Fat with the Fan channel. Obviously, what are your last words? Let me hear it.
Lamar Jackson for MVP.
Woo, I like those last words. We're a little different what we normally, but yo, this boy EC22, the Fat with the Fan channel. Once again, Tuesday, 6 o'clock, Facebook, YouTube, and X. We broadcast every Tuesday unless something emergency happens, something like that. Expect us here. Also on Thursday, we're coming down to this is our last Thursday night game, ain't it? So last
Mhm.
Thursday be the last. This Thursday be the last Thursday night halftime show. So we'll be here for that. Then after that, we'll probably just stick with Tuesdays. And if we throw another date in between, we'll let you know. It depends on the schedules and stuff like that. But yo, it's been fun, man. Hey, stay safe. Once again, like, subscribe, share, leave comment. I'll keep saying share. Like, subscribe, share, leave comments. And once again, for those of you who are on Facebook, whether it be on the Facebook, my Facebook page, Eric Curtis Facebook page, or the Fat with a Fan Facebook page. Listen, if you're not subscribed to YouTube, please jump on over to YouTube and subscribe to those channels on YouTube as well as Twitter. And join the conversation. Leave comments, like the videos that'll help the channel grow. We appreciate it. And that's it. That's all we have for the channel, man. Peace out. Thank you for joining.
One more thing.
Uh huh.
Congrats on making it to the final of my fantasy football league.
Yeah. I'm 3 out of 4. I'm 3 out of 4 in the championship. Um, who did I lo oh, I lost 1 game in NFL. No, I think that's yeah, I lost 1 game in the NFL, but it was a 9-6 record, so, that team, I just couldn't beat that team, but I'm in the NFL, I'm in the finals over there, as well as 2 on, ESPN. So I'm in a public
Nice.
league on ESPN, and I'm in your league on ESPN. And Team Joyce, look, they look hard to beat. I'm just gonna let you know who is Team Joyce. Who is that person?
That's some dude from work, man.
His name is Joyce.
Stephen Joyce. That's his last
Oh,
name,
Stevie. I'm
Joyce.
so sorry. I thought the other chick. I'm like, we got a chick doing that thing. He got a hard. He got a tough squad. So I got to get creative to try to beat this guy. He's putting up some points in fantasy, man. So I'm gonna come at him. I got some things to work it, man. And right now in my fantasy league, more than the game, I got my cousin Daniel Johnson as well as Jerron Clayton going back and going at it for my finals this week. So and the winner of that, you already know what it is. $100 for the winner of that league, and we'll see what's gonna happen. Fantasy is coming on down. All right. Hope I win Max League because I already got my jersey picked out. Shannon
All
Sharp,
right.
baby. I want a Shannon Sharp jersey if I win. All right, man. Appreciate it, man. We're out.